Hi everyone, you're tuned in to a special episode brought to you by the American Green Corner Sabah, a project by the US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur in partnership with the Sabah State Library at Tanjung Aru Branch, Kota Kinabalu. And for more information and to stay connected, please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at agc.sabah and find us on Facebook under American Green Corner Sabah.
From the beauty of Kinabalu to the white sands of Mengayau, this is the American Green Corner Podcast.
Once again, hi everyone. My name is Ben Uzair. It's such a privilege to be with you in this special episode of AGC Sabah podcast. I have a very special guest that is sitting next to me right now. Her name is Nadhira Rifai. Hi, Nadhira.
Hi, Ben. Lovely to meet you again.
Yes, it's been a while. Thank you so much for agreeing to have this interview. And for the information of our viewers today, Nadhira is an alumnus or alumni of the YSEALI program. So she will tell us much more about it. But perhaps for our viewers who are just now meeting you for the very first time, perhaps Nadhira, would you like to introduce yourself in the form of saying or naming three things that make you Nadhira, making you Nadhira?
Okay. Thanks for that, Ben. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. So people know me as Ira. So I'm a local Sabahan. I'm based in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. I am currently working for Reef Check Malaysia. We are a marine conservation NGO.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we do a lot of marine conservation programs all around Malaysia, but my work is based all around Sabah. So I recently joined the YSEALI Professional Fellowship Program, or we call it short YSEALI PFP. I was with the spring cohort, so I was there earlier this year. Three things that makes Nadhira, let me recall. So I am not a morning person and I can't function without coffee. I brought my coffee here just in case.
Would you like to show?
For the extra energy, I have it here in my tumbler.
Coffee's such an American thing. I love it. How do you take your coffee, by the way?
Iced.
Iced, black,
Everything
with
iced,
milk?
latte, yeah.
Okay, latte. Are you choosy in terms of your milk? Some people like soy, some people like almond milk.
So far, I cannot take with soy. I've tried all other alternatives.
Okay,
I
alright.
don't really like the taste of soy or almond.
Okay. All right, so that's the first few. Anything else?
Two more.
Oh, yes, please, go ahead.
Right. So
You dive, by the way.
I dive, yes, I dive. People sometimes, it's not really apparent now, but sometimes I have gloves because of the sun.
There was once, I think several times, I think the very first time that I found out about you and we were friends, you went diving during Bulan Puasa, the fasting month even. I thought that was like, wow, so strenuous,
It is.
But you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, all for our reefs. We were doing our reef health monitoring that time. It was with WWF Malaysia in Semporna.
Nice.
Yes, so I love scuba diving. I love my work. I've been working for Reef Check Malaysia close to 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Truly dedicated to marine conservation and really, really wanting to take care of a greener, to have a greener world, perhaps.
I've dreamed of working in conservation since I was little, and I'm living my dream right now, working in marine conservation.
Very nice.
And one more fact, I love cats.
Oh,
I have cats at home,
yes.
yes. But sadly, I'm allergic to cat fur.
Oh, no. How do you juggle that?
I plan my interaction with them.
You plan
If I have
that's
diving
so
trip,
sad.
if I have diving trip tomorrow, I cannot be sneezing the night before. If
I
not, I
see.
will get congestion. So
Okay,
I
okay.
plan, I limit. But then if I don't have any diving trips, they will be with me.
Wow. But I'm still happy that you're able to live your dream and, doing wonderful things in conservation, especially in the marine life and all of that. So thank you again for being part of this show, yeah?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So to our viewers, let's take a very short break. And coming up, we're going to have our whiteboard ideas segment. And we'll have Ira share creative solutions, innovative ideas, and also expert insights. And also some sharing from her recent YSEALI trip. So stay tuned. This is AGC Sabah.
Green Corner Podcast.
Welcome back to AGC Sabah. My name is Ben Uzair and I'm privileged to have a wonderful guest here, my good friend Nadhira Rifai. She is a diver, marine conservationist, and also recently a YSEALI. I have problems pronouncing YSEALI. So I thought it was YSEALI, and then I'm glad you say it's YSEALI. But yeah, you recently came back from the YSEALI trip, and you obviously had. And I am so pleased that you're here to share your experiences and also share some insights to our viewers of AGC Sabah today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Ira, let's talk about the recent YSEALI trip. I was most excited when your photo was on the US Embassy photo because I saw a few other individuals from Sabah and also from Semenanjung, Malaysia, whom I know who are passionate in their field and whatnot. So I was very, very excited that, hey, Ira finally gets to go to the United States. Would you like to just tell what was your reaction when you got the letter saying that you're going to go to the United States for this program?
Let me recall. So I got the letter through an email. I think it was last year or early this year. I think about January or December. So I was excited. The first person I showed that letter to was my dad.
Okay. Was he pleased? I mean, he has to be pleased.
He was, but he was cooking at that time. And he was like, "You going to US?" And I said, "Yes." "Oh, good." And then he continued cooking.
Okay.
But I know he was happy for me.
Okay. Mr. Rifai, if you're watching, thank you so much for tuning in to support your daughter. Awesome.
Yeah, so I didn't really announce it when I got the offer letter. I think it was when the US Embassy posted that photo, our group photo was when it was announced that I'm going there. Before this, I just kept quiet. And yeah, I was really excited to go. I've been to other countries before, and I've never been to the United States. And I was really looking forward to not only to work with people in the United States for my fellowship, but I also wanted to network with other fellows from the ASEAN countries. Actually, I met a few friends there as well.
Awesome.
Guess what was the common thing that brought us together?
Oh, please. What was it?
Coffee.
Really? Another, it's so American.
It's very revolving around coffee again.
Was there team black coffee, team white coffee, team espresso, team...
We had different types of coffee, but what we had in common was we always brought our tumblers along.
Okay, that's good.
Some was, I think I bought mine in the US, and then the rest I brought all the way from Malaysia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perhaps for our listeners who are not very familiar with YSEALI, would you like to explain to our viewers what is the YSEALI program?
So, first off, YSEALI stands for Young Southeast Asia Leaders Initiative. So YSEALI, they have a lot of programs. The one I joined was called the YSEALI PFP, Professional Fellowship Program. It's aimed for young professionals between 25 to 35 years old. So there are 4 themes or 4 pillars when you are joining that professional fellowship program. I joined Sustainable Development and Environment, short for SDE. There is governance, there is civic engagement, and there is also the economic empowerment. Kenny is in that team.
Okay. Our good friend Kenny is also in there. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get Kenny here in one of his visits to Sabah. Excellent. And during your program, how long is the duration? Which states did you visit? And would you like to just elaborate a little bit more about that?
So we started before we went to the US. There was a few online sessions before, like orientation, briefing, pre-departure briefings. All of that was online. We started around February.
Okay.
We traveled to the United States end of April. It's a 6 weeks program. So first week is the arrival orientation. So SDE theme, our arrival orientation destination was in Washington, D.C.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then the following 4 weeks is when we are doing our individual fellowship. I was placed in Northeast Harbor, Maine. in the state of Maine.
Maine, wow,
Yes, it was like
okay.
very far up north, bordering Canada.
Right, right. It is really, really like pisok-pisok sana,
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, like so the fellowship program, it ran for 4 weeks, and then the last week is when all fellows will gather in one place, and then for this year we gathered in Washington DC again.
Okay, okay.
It's called the YFF, YSEALI Fellows Forum.
I see.
Yeah. So that's when all fellows from all 4 teams will gather and mingle and network, and we'll share about the experiences during the fellowship, and that's when we will also get our certificates. One thing which is I found I didn't think would happen to me was we managed to visit the State Department.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it was quite nice actually. Yeah.
We only see it in images and in magazines, but for you to actually visit the State Department building, that's really, really something. I think I recall from your stories that you spend a lot of time in Maine. You have a host family there. Perhaps you'd like to just tell us a little bit about what happened in Maine. What did you see? What did you do? And I'm certain during your few weeks there are certain things that stood out, and perhaps the idea came, hey, mungkin we can do this in Sabah. So go ahead, tell us more about that.
So I did my fellowship with Maine Seacoast Mission. They are a not-for-profit organization. They do a lot of community engagement work. So their work revolves around 3 elements, which is focusing on healthcare, education, and food security.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I have a host organization, but unfortunately I did not live with the host family. So I
Okay.
stayed in an Airbnb. Most of the SDE fellows, they have their own apartments. Some got a whole house. Yeah.
It all depends, right?
Depends, yeah. So I did my placement in Northeast Harbour in Maine. I was the first fellow actually to do a placement in the state of Maine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I was also the first fellow for that organization. They
So
were
it
really
must be a
nice.
very great learning experience for them as well.
Yes, they were very supportive, very helpful with my fellowship program. So Maine Seacoast Mission, they do a lot of community engagements, but one element that they do not do actually is environment.
Interesting.
So it was, I did struggle a bit at first because I was trying to find and to learn anything about marine conservation. But then my host was really helpful with that. Sally Clinton is my the person in charge to handle me. So she helped me to network with other people. I've met some online, some in person, with people who actually does marine conservation, any conservation work in Northeast Harbour. What else?
Awesome. I think we'll stop there.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's one thing that stood out that you observe or experience, and immediately you said, "Hey, this might work in Sabah." Perhaps you'd like to share just one.
One thing that stood out to me was I found out there was one program that was conducted by Island Institute. They are actually partners with Maine Seacoast Mission. So they also do fellowship programs. So far, most of the fellows are either from Maine itself or other Americans. But then their fellowship program is actually, it ran for 2 years. It ran for 2 years, and that fellowship will be done on islands. So where I did my fellowship, there's a lot of island visits. And then what is most important to me that I thought was important is that the communities of the island itself, they can choose which fellow they want the fellow to come to the island, and they can develop a project. A recent one project that I remembered was that the community and the fellow, they work together to do a study on presence of heavy metal in the waters. And then they did a lot of samplings together, and they published the data, and most of the islanders know the results of that publication, which is really something that when it comes to publishing research or studies paper here or any other places, most of the communities itself, they do not know the results of the studies because maybe it's too complicated for them. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we'll take a very short break, and coming up, Ira will share some green goals, sustainable practices, environmental initiatives, and also personal eco-friendly goals. She mentioned Tumblr, so we're going to ask her how many Tumblrs she has at home. Maybe she might share one or two. So stay tuned. This is AGC Sabah.
Green Corner Podcast.
Once again, hello, my name is Ben Uzair, and this is another special episode of AGC Sabah. And just a little information about American Green Corner Sabah. We are all about fostering education and cultural exchange between the US and also Sabah, while also raising awareness about environmental issues and climate change. Plus, they've provided a welcoming space for us to run programs like today. And I hope that one of these days you'll be able to visit us at the Tanjung Aru Kota Kinabalu branch. That's the Sabah State Library, Tanjung Aru branch in Kota Kinabalu. That's too many names, yeah, Nadhira?
Yes.
But it's okay. I'm glad
mouthful.
that... Yes, it's okay. But Ira, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for sharing about who you are, and also during your YSEALI trip as well. I'm certain so many great experiences that you garnered and gained from that lovely trip. How many weeks was it, by the way?
It was a total of 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was like 3. 6. My goodness. Your dad must have really missed you.
Yeah. I don't really cook at home back here, but I
Okay.
cook there. So whenever I was cooking, I would always do video calls.
Okay.
And they were really impressed at looking at me. Ira is cooking. Because we have a 12-hour time difference. So
Right.
when I'm making breakfast, they are having dinner.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. Right? It's on the other side of the world. All right, let's go on to our next segment here. I always like to invite our guests and talk about green goals, since we are the American Green Corner, and also we like to just ask our guests what are things that they practice at home or at work in terms of trying to create our world a little bit greener, albeit in our small ways. You never know that little things might be inspirational to other people to emulate and follow. So yourself, being a marine conservationist since 12 years old, marine conservation and also the environment is close to your heart. I am certain that there are many things that you do at home and also at work to make sure that we take care of our environment, especially here in Sabah. Perhaps you'd like to just share the little things that you do, and you already shared one, which is having your tumbler. How is having a tumbler helpful to save the environment? Yeah, I have my tumbler too. Here's here.
Ta-da.
Yeah, like a
With engraved name
instead
as well.
of having a plastic bottle, but I always have ample water at home that I will just put it in here and take it to work, take it to anywhere. And you love your coffee and you have a lovely tumbler there. So tell us how this is substantial to take care of the environment.
So whenever I'm working in the office, I usually will buy coffee outdoors at cafes, nearby cafes. So I will bring my tumbler around. It's sort of my small contribution to try to reduce the amount of plastics, because we actually use plastics a lot,
Yes.
especially plastic cups. And if I drink coffee every day, 5 days a week, that means I will produce 5 cups of plastic. But then whenever I'm using tumbler, I can reduce that. Another initiative that I also do is that I have been bringing my own bag. Actually, people who know me know I have a few small bags in my handbag.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've started it before even our DBKK. I think that
Yes.
banned the usage of plastic bags from
Yes.
grocery shops or any shops in KK, which I think is a very good initiative as well. So.
Well done to our city council.
Yes, so I think both of this is a very good initiative, because we see a lot of plastic waste in our rivers. In our sea, we always do underwater cleanup, so we always have to pick up all the plastics in the ocean. One thing I would like to share is that during our cleanups, both either beach or underwater, one of the top 10 items we always collect is the plastic bottles.
Really? Wow.
So
That's a
we
lot,
can reach thousands, yeah.
And you mentioned about like just yourself. If you were to not use a tumbler, you'll be using like 5 cups, paper, plastic, whatever. And it occurred to me like in a shop, there might be at least like 50 or 200 people. Can you imagine per day how many cups that they are using? Multiple that by a week, multiple by 4 in a month, and then goodness, in a year, there's just so many of those cups which will end up in landfills.
If it ends up in landfills.
Yes, it might end up in rivers, the sea, or on the side road or anywhere. So yeah, that's really something that we have to take account as well. So yeah, I'm glad that you shared about your tumbler. And by the way, I love your underwater cleanups and also the beach cleanups that you participate, and you will always post it on your social media. So that's also very good. Are those usually very, shall we say, impactful?
We try to make it impactful. What we think would be a good outcome from those cleanups is that we also collect data on what we collect. It's not just we collect the trash and then send it over to the landfill. We wanted the data as well. So that's how we can find out what is the main problem, which trash is the main problems on our beach or underwater. There's a difference usually when we see beach and underwater cleanups. Usually on the beach, we can see a lot of cigarette butts.
Yes.
In the sea, maybe it's because if maybe a bit dissolve a bit, so we don't really see a lot of cigarette butts, but we always see a lot of plastic bottles.
And that's one of the things that you shared, that plastic bottles are among the top contributors to the trash that you found. Any other things that are unusual that you have found in the water or at the beach? I know you shared this many times before, but perhaps for our viewers who are watching this for the very first time, it'll be quite amusing.
Unusual items. Okay, so I remember, I think I posted this back in my social media as well, is that one of the islands, so most of the islands in Sabah, or especially Malaysia, there's no waste management, which is unfortunate. So I did find a few unusual items on the beach. On the same island, I saw a television. It was an old TV, the thick ones, not the flat screen, the thick
box.
Yeah, the thick box TV. I also I saw a 2-seater couch.
2-seater couch.
Can you imagine how big that is?
Somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
there's
really
a lot
amusing.
of things, a lot of trash in the sea, sadly. But hey, a lot of little things that we're able to do, perhaps it will create an impact. And hopefully it's something that, our future generations, which we will talk about in Blue Horizon, my next segment, talking about future plans, thinking ahead, and reflection. Yeah, so stay tuned. This is AGC Sabah.
Green Corner Podcast.
This is AGC Sabah, and we have a special guest here, Nadhira Rifai. Thank you, Ira, for sharing a lot of things in our show today. So our segment now is sharing your future plans, thinking ahead, and also giving a reflection. So I'd like to just go ahead and ask you if there are any exciting plans ahead for you.
I do, but before that, I always forget to do this. But here you go, I have something for you.
Oh my gosh, it's a keychain from Maine. And oh my gosh, the little lobster moves.
Yes. Yeah, so Maine is known for the lobster industry actually.
Oh my gosh. And now I recall a recent visit, a visit to Maine many years back. They would have anything and everything lobster in their meals, like lobster and spaghetti, lobster pizza, even lobster ice cream. I remember that. Did you try the lobster ice cream?
I did not. I did try the lobster pizza though.
There was lobster ice cream in Boston, which is not too far from Maine. But yes, you're right. Everything is lobster in Maine. I'm like, oh, so cute. Thank you, Ira.
You're
Thank you very much.
welcome.
Yeah. So back to future plans.
Back to the future.
Yeah.
Back to the future plans. Okay. I do have 2 things. An immediate plans that I have is that I will be speaking at 2 conferences.
Oh, nice,
One will be
nice.
in KL. The first one will be the United Nations Development Program
Oh,
World
wow.
Tourism Day Conference, which is happening next week.
Okay.
And another one also happening this month is the Sabah International Blue Economy Conference.
Oh, I'm emceeing that event.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I will be one of the panelists as well for
Oh, well
that, which is
done.
I'm really excited about.
Nice, 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 nice.
Another future plans is that I am planning to pursue my masters.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, all this while I've been working since. So I graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's degree in marine science.
At University Malaysia Sabah.
Yes,
And they have a
University
great
Malaysia
conservation
Sabah.
program there.
I still work with them sometimes.
Okay, that's good.
And then, so 12 years on, I've been working all this while. So I only just started to consider pursuing my master's. I hope I will get where I'm going, planning to apply to. Yeah. So those are the plans for me for now. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Before we go, I know you've been talking a lot about future. You've been talking to future YSEALI participants about what to prepare, what to do, what not, and things like that. And perhaps just to summarize it into 3 points, what can you tell future YSEALI participants to do before they head on to the United States for this program?
Okay. I did my sharing session just last night actually. So I have 3 tips for them. First is when you start your application, please start early. There are essays you need to write, and also you need to appoint 2 referees who knows you well that can write good recommendation letters for you. So that's 1. 2 is just if you're hesitating, please just go for it. Just try. If you fail, you can learn from it. And number 3, please be open-minded, be prepared to learn. And if you can, try to explore the United States whenever you can. I visit a lot of places in the state of Maine. I went hiking. I went to a lot of the islands there in
Nice.
Maine itself. Yeah, so which is really an exciting program for me.
Awesome, awesome. Ira, thank you so much for spending time with us at American Green Corner Sabah.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. It's nice to have a Sabahan like you who are continuously making things happen in the realm of environment and also conservation. Please know we will always support your work, and congratulations to your many success. We look forward to having you again in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for AGC Sabah. My name is Ben, and we'll see you in a future episode. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and also TikTok. Bye-bye now, and take care.